All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the board meeting. Thank you. Thank. Um, um, Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining in. We are starting the meeting pretty early today for a very good reason. Today, today we have a lot of updates coming. We are still we today. Okay, so first today the Silver Line Eastdale North Convention Street station is now being changed to Eastdale North Convention Street Center. That is now the brand new um, Western Terminal on the Silver Line. Uh, and then also today is the final day for our test between the gold and yellow lines, and somewhere near around 7 o'clock we should have our results on if the gold line will finally get its first transfer station. Also, we have been planning for a brand new yellow line station because we are not trying to get rid of Greensboro Station because that station is most unique to a lot of people in the Greensboro sub area division. So we have to keep that station there. If we do decide to get rid of Greensboro Station, it will be replaced by the Gold Line Station, Glenwood Park, and we will just push Jupiter Avenue Station out further because Jupiter Avenue Station will and still and will forever be the northern terminal of the Yellow Line. Now, I know lately a lot of people have been confused on the southern terminal and northern terminal from North Oak Center, and I am here to explain that. Now, I have said this multiple times in our meetings where till I just can't say it anymore. But remember this, there's a platform 1 and there's a platform 2. Platform 1 is the yellow line side, which is the yellow line track, which means that side is southbound. It's southbound. It's no northbound, no none of that. It's southbound. Platform 2 is northbound, which means it will go straight and go to 34th Street. The yellow line, which is southbound, it will take the turn inside of the tunnel and then, make its mark. Now, we have gotten a lot of calls from riders asking where do they get on the southbound, where do they get on the northbound. I have been explaining this for the longest that North Oak Center is one of those stations where the yellow line has its own platform and the green line has its own platform. Now, yes, we are deciding to put a wall in between the two platforms because we don't want passengers to get it mixed up on which side is north and south. But we will, when the system comes, we will explain that in the long run. Now, also today we are going to be reading an article today. I asked ChatGPT to write this for me last night. So today we're going to be reading an article. Today we're going to be reading the backstory of downtown McKinley. Now, I have never planned this in the past. I've never planned this in the past. But it's about time I give you guys the backstory of downtown McKinley. Before before McKinley and North McKinley were switch spots. Um, yeah, before we changed McKinley to North McKinley, and then we changed North McKinley to downtown McKinley. McKinley Station was barely getting ridership. So we had to come up with a new plan for the McKinley Station. So we decided to upgrade our station. We made McKinley North McKinley. And after we made it North McKinley, it was getting a lot of ridership. So we just decided to keep it as North McKinley. Now when we exchanged McKinley to North McKinley, we was wondering what was the next step for the other station, which was North McKinley. We changed it to downtown McKinley because we realized that North McKinley was a part of the downtown McKinley part. So we had to change. We had to change that. We had to make it look better, to like where it was. So even though the fact that we changed North McKinley to downtown McKinley, it still made it better access. It still made it better access because we was able to switch um we was able to switch everything, and we were able to change the stations with no problem. So hold on. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm trying to add something on real quick. So yeah. So it's just rewriting everything for me. Then once I have it rewriting, it will be all good. I'm just waiting for it to rewrite everything. All right. So let's see if it's ready. And okay. All right. So let's get into this backstory of McKinley. So this is the backstory of downtown McKinley Station. Okay. So it says chapter one, before the station, 2000s to 2015. Okay. So let's read it like, it's like an automated backstory, and it has some touch to it. Okay, so let's read it. Back in the early 2000s, the Red Line skipped over a cruel area, McKinley. The region had small stops called North McKinley Station, but it was outdated, cramped, and poorly connected to downtown. Commuters called it the forgotten stop. Meanwhile, traffic in McKinley's core wars residents pushed for something better, a true downtown hub by 2015. City leaders admitted the truth. North McKinley couldn't keep up. So around that time, the system was rarely doing anything. Really, the system around that time, the system was really being planned. That's what the chapter really basically became. The system was being planned and everything was being put into perspective. Chapter 2, Planning and Vision, 2015 to 2017. Um, the city formed Transit McKinley 2020 with a sorry for that. The city formed Transit McKinley 2020 with a bold idea, replaced North McKinley with brand new central hub that reflected the city growth. Um, Athletics dreamed of a glass and steel station with modern platforms, wide concourses, and room for buses, bike, and pedestrian connections. At community meetings, a name debate sparked should it still be called North McKinley. The decision was historic. North McKinley would be reborn as downtown McKinley. So in chapter 2, it refers that North McKinley was changing and that it would be referred as um as downtown McKinley. So basically North McKinley wasn't technically closed. The station was just being planned. But around 2022, um North McKinley station was closed because we had to redo the platforms and all that before we changed it to downtown McKinley. Chapter 3, Construction Phase, 2017 to 2020. In late 2017, demolition crews tore down the agging North McKinley platforms. For many longtime riders, it was bittersweet. Memories of decades of commutes vanished overnight, but the excitement quickly replaced. The construction site grew massive with deep foundations, new tunnels, and the framework for what would soon be downtown McKinley Station. So, what chapter 3 is saying is that downtown McKinley became one of the most greatest stations in in the red line. Downtown McKinley has been one of our busiest on the red line since we opened it back up in 2023, and I gotta say it is very impressive. Now we are going to do a documentary on McKinley, on North McKinley. Well, McKinley, but which is North McKinley now. So we're gonna also do a documentary on that too. So, and then it says workers often joked we were not just replacing North McKinley, we were building the city's heart. Now, let's go into the next chapter. Chapter 4, Opening Day 2020. On the opening morning in 2020, the mayor declared North McKinley is gone and downtown McKinley begins a new chapter. Now, I didn't now we did not do a live stream on this new opening of downtown McKinley, but we did have some great moments. I can say that. Um, Crowds cheered as the first Red Line train rolled in under the new name. The rebranding mattered. It wasn't just a station; It was a promise. The downtown deserved its own Archer. Chapter 5, Early Years 2020 to 2023. Through COVID-19 slowed things down, people quickly began calling it the hub of hubs. Many who once said, "Meet me at North McKinley," now proudly said, "See you at downtown McKinley." Chapter 6, Symbol of Relents 2020 to 2022. Downtown McKinley carried memories of the old station but stood as a symbol of reliance. Um, Symbol of reliance, riders remembered the cramped platforms of North McKinley and mirth at new Spalicious Concourse and all that. So yeah, like a new. So basically, new platforms was fitted it into the downtown McKinley, into the downtown McKinley station. The transfer became part of the city pride. We didn't just re-navigate, we reversed it. So they reversed the downtown McKinley station. Okay, chapter 7, Today and Future 2023 Beyond. Okay, so this says today downtown McKinley is formally established. Few even remember North McKinley, expected longtime commuter who smiled and say, "We knew it before the change." Future projects include expanding connections with the Silver Line and adding more concourse space. Still, its legacy is already set. North McKinley walked so down McKinley could run. So that is the full backstory of downtown McKinley. Now, I now see I when I first came up with this system, I was not expecting for us to make a change with the North McKinley station. Um I was not expecting for us to make a change about the North McKinley station. I was really hoping for something real simple and not like a change in the stations or something. Really. Backstory on McKinley station, which is now North McKinley. Oops, gotta add the red line point. Um, I'm saying start from 2020, please. I'm waiting for it to finish. Start from 2020, please. Okay, so it's rewriting the story, but I want uh I want to make sure that this is right. Okay, so now let's get into another backstory. This is the backstory of this is the backstory of North McKinley Station, which was known as McKinley, but is now known as North McKinley. Okay, chapter one, the name change, 2020. In early 2020, city transit officials announced that the original McKinley station would be renamed North McKinley. The reason? Question mark. The opening of downtown McKinley station nearby. Riders had been getting confused between the two. Meet at McKinley could mean the neighborhood stop or the busy downtown hub. Tourists and new commuters often ended up at the wrong place. So the rebrand went live. McKinley, North McKinley. Chapter 2, Adjustment Period, 2020-2021. For months, locals, residents, the change train conductors would say next stop North McKinley, and riders will whisper it's still McKinley to me, which I think something is kind of wrong with that, but okay. Signs across the platform were updated, but the old name stuck in conversions. North McKinley slowly started to form its new identity as a quarter community based stop, while downtown McKinley became the choral hub. Pandemic years 2020 2022. Um, the remaining convict with the COVID-19 pandemic, North McKinley saw a sudden drop in ridership as officials closed and travel slowed. But in this quieter time, the station became a lifeline and essential workers in hospitals, food services, and city operations. It shifted from being just a commuter stop to a symbol of reliance. Chapter 4, growth and chapter 4, growth. 2020 to 2023. As the city recovered, North McKinley ridership bounced back. Developers added new housing near the station, and the neighborhood became popular for families speaking approximately to downtown without the chaos. The station also got upgrades, modern signage, accessibility improvements, new lighting, and seating. It was no longer just the old McKinley stop. It was North McKinley, the neighborhood gateway. Chapter 5, the North Identity, 2023-2024. By 2023, riders had fully embraced the name North McKinley, became shorthand for the residential side of McKinley, while downtown McKinley clearly marked the business hub. The two stations now act like siblings. North McKinley Residential Community Quieter, Downtown McKinley, um, High Rise Entertainment. Together, they define the McKinley District. Chapter 6, North McKinley Today, 2024 2025. Today, North McKinley balance history and modern identity. Longtime locals still smile and call it McKinley, while new riders know it as North McKinley. It remains a virtual stop on the Red Line carrying thousands daily, but its role has shifted. Not the city's center prize anymore. Instead, the neighborhood archer for the northern community. And so, what began as a simple remain in 2020 has now become part of the station's story, proof that even names change, but the station role as a life never does. So it says, do you want me to also parallel? Yes. So really, what I'm trying to say is there is a very, very big difference between the downtown McKinley station and the North McKinley station. By the way, these two stations have two different type of ways of them being the way they are. With that being said, downtown McKinley is most likely the area for a lot of businesses and all of that. That's really what downtown McKinley is really for. So that's really what downtown McKinley is really all about. So here is the end part of this story between downtown McKinley and the doors are closing. Please stand clear of the doors. The doors are closing. The doors are The doors on this car are unfastened. The doors on this car are unfastened. Please stand clear of the doors so the train can depart. Yo, what's that? Don't tell me that's a legacy fleet, dude. For real? They got one out? Oh, what he calling me? Hello, what's up? Hello? You can hear me? Hello? You can hear me? D'Angelo. Hold on. Hello?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Hey man, what's up, bro? It's been a while.
Yeah, yeah,
Huh?
yeah,
I
I
was
know.
doing my meeting over here. D'Angelo, we haven't talked in a while. All right. Yes, ma'am, I'm coming. What's up, bro?
Yeah,
So I'm assuming your dad let